It's about that time, folks. Another night of Tuesday College Call of Duty. My name is Seymour. Alongside me is Cruisin'. We are here to bring you a little bit of the east side, a little bit of the west side. But Jesse, to start things off, we are looking towards the east groups. We're going to be looking at Utica Pioneers versus Florida State University.
Yeah, we get a group match out of Group G in the playoffs, and I mean the playoffs have been pretty crazy so far. If I do say so myself, I've seen quite a few upsets where teams are beating teams in maps that you just don't expect them to be beating teams on. And you know what? Honestly, I think that's just all CCL playoffs always is. It's always a bunch of just craziness that happens year after year, and now we finally get to dive deeper into these group stages.
What would you label CCL playoffs? I mean, I know the admins would probably know how to label this one. Would it be like a neutral chaos or I think it would be a neutral chaos for the most part, but I think the admins would probably say something different. Jesse,
just pure insanity. Pure insanity. That's literally all CCL playoffs are. All our admins are running around right now like chickens with their heads cut off because they're trying to keep up with all these games that are going on, and it is just pure insanity, whether it be the gameplay, whether it be everything behind the scenes that goes into making one of these broadcasts works. It is just absolutely insane. But you know what? We're here. We get it all done at the end of the day, and you know what? That's just esports at the end of the day.
It is. I mean, you got to tip your hat to the admins at some point. Shout out to the admins of CCL. They do magical things behind the scenes that a lot of you probably don't even know about. And inside of this series, Jesse, as we can pan away from that into the matchup, we're looking at East Group G. Like I said, not full sail. We're looking at Florida State University and Utica Pioneers. And it's going to be interesting when we're looking at these head-to-heads, Jesse, because into the playoffs, a lot of people would say this is a brand new look for a lot of teams. But I mean, the records are showing that FSU, they have gone a long way against some teams because they love their Game 5s.
Yeah, I mean, they've played 20 series this year, and 5 of which have gone to Game 5 for Florida State University. That's quite a, what is that, 1 in every 4 games? It's a pretty high rating in terms of that, but this team has still been very, very solid through a lot of these games. 17-3 on the season. It's exactly what you want to see, and then coming into this group as well, when we're talking about the overall head-to-head and this East Group G, both these teams 1-0 inside the group. This will very likely be a match for who comes out and ends up winning out the entire group in general. So you got to think whoever wins this match very likely comes away with a guaranteed shot of making it into that playoff bracket exactly where you want to be.
And for, the side of Utica, Jesse, this is going to be a big shot at proving that you have what it takes when it does come to that bracket play, if you do make it. So, it's a big match, for confidence as well as placings. But when we're looking at the rosters to make this show a good one, let's introduce the home team first. When you're looking at the Seminoles over in FSU, Jesse, we're looking at Exile, Brave Cannon, Mad Truth, and K-Cell. And when you're looking at this team, Jesse, you can definitely point out, veteran in the scene, Exile leading the team to what could be the bracket play in the playoffs. And realistically, I'm not even going to put the limelight on him. I'm going to put the limelight on Mad Truth because this guy has been slaying so well throughout the season.
Yeah, Mad Truth has been a kind of a great addition to this roster alongside Daniel Exile as well. They've both been playing very good throughout the entire year. Exile pretty much becomes the X factor on the team, though, in a lot of cases, because he is that guy for this team. He's the leader. He helps bring a lot of this team to the heights that they need to hit to be able to walk away with a lot of success, but he wouldn't be able to do it alone. That's why he's got those 3 other players alongside with him. And like you said, Mad Truth has been a fantastic addition to Exile's kind of his leadership on this team. It's been a duo-ship that has worked really, really well throughout this season.
It is, and honestly, in my opinion, Jesse, even the two of them are not enough to talk about for this team. You get big slang support from the other two in Brave Cannon and K-Cell, and I think at some points Exile can be that X factor for the team when that slang is a little hit or miss on his time or on his side of things. The X factor could be there, but when we're looking over at the other side, Utica looking to challenge them tonight inside of the group. We can introduce our away team, the Pioneers, Jesse. You're looking at Polish Prince, Frenzy, Divin, and Jalen.
And this is a team where consistency has been their main problem for Utica all season long. They've had flashes of brilliance, but also really, really low moments throughout a lot of the season where they've lost to some teams where they really should not have lost to this season. But when you look over at these 4 players, you look at them and you're like, damn, this team could be a good team that could make it a decent run here inside of the CCL playoffs. I mean, we all seen that clip a couple weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, I guess it was a few months ago now, from Polish Prince, who made that insane clutch inside of the CCL regular season, inside of that control map. Like, this team is good. They've had those pop-off moments. It's just all about putting it together and making a solid run for themselves here.
And Jesse, you know, when looking at this matchup between the two teams, you can look at Frenzy. You know, even into this team, he's an aggressive SMG player, and when we're highlighting the slaying power of Mad Truth, you can really shine some light on Frenzy as a potential shutdown factor for Utica inside of that same situation.
Yeah, you definitely can. Frenzy is a really, really aggressive submachine gun player, like you were saying, and it's really going to be a battle here today because the submachine guns on FSU are kind of no slouch right now. So for Frenzy, he's going to need to step up, be that main guy here for Utica today, and really go toe to toe with the submachine guns on Florida State if they want to be able to bring the slaying prowess and the slaying power to be able to combat a team like Florida State University.
Well, Jesse, let's see if they have what it takes. Only time will tell if they do have that factor. We're going to set up the maps now and take a look at the series because it's a whole lot of Tuscan, Jesse. We get 3 Tuscans spread out through the series. A Tuscan hardpoint, a Tuscan control, and if it goes the distance, a Tuscan search and destroy. But to split the difference between them, you're looking at a Desert Siege search and destroy in map number 2 and a Gavatsu hardpoint map number 4.
And when I look overall at this map, I'm not too excited for Utica because I'm just like, we get so much Tuscan. And I think me and you both know just how good Florida State University looks on Tuscan. Right. Like a few weeks ago, they beat Barry inside of the Tuscan hardpoint. They looked really, really strong inside of that map. Barry's a fantastic team. They beat them by almost 100 points on Tuscan hardpoint. So to see that map come through, a little bit surprising for me. Tuscan control, I also think that they look a little bit weaker at Gavutu control. So to see the Tuscan control come through for Florida State, I think that helps them out significantly as well. And then a search and destroy. I mean, after having that much comfortability on Tuscan through those first 2 maps, you got to imagine even their Tuscan S&D is pretty well polished up to this point of the year.
It's patterns, Jesse. It's just pure patterns that we're seeing out of them. And you guys might be wondering, why are we putting so much hype on Mad Truth? Well, in that reference that Jesse made to the matchup between Barry Buccaneers back in week number 10, that dominated 250 to 157 game to close out the series, Mad Truth went 41-27. And I feel like when your submachine gun player is putting up those numbers, Jesse, you are just unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous, especially on a Tuscan, right, where you can definitely lock down a lot of lanes with an AR, and it's hard to be able to push into a lot of those kind of small choke points, but clearly Mad Truth was able to find his way. And again, like we said, against a very, very talented team. I believe they're in the top 15 in the Barry Buccaneers. So this map set, I think, is a big weak point for Utica. That's not saying that coming out that they're not going to be able to come through and try to take this series, fight the best that they can. I'm just saying, I think that they're making it a little bit harder for themselves, calling kind of keys to victory, I guess, for Utica. When we look overall at everything, I think the S&Ds are going to be a main focus point for this team. I know we were looking at overall records. Their S&D wasn't the greatest, but I just have a hard time seeing a world where they take 2 hard points and they take a control off of Florida State University. It's just Florida State's really, really good at control. It's probably their best mode. And then in terms of just hard point in general, I mean, both teams are good at it. I would just give the small edge to Florida State, though.
And you know what, Jesse? If they can find a way to destabilize the tempo of FSU's hard points and maybe even shut down Mad Truth when you're looking at Frenzy to make that happen, you know, you steal away a hard point, Utica Pioneers have all of a sudden flipped the whole script of this series. And now that it's playoffs, now that we're in the groups, Jesse, I feel like this is a must win in situations for Utica. You need to step up to some of these teams. You need to show that you have the presence to stand inside of bracket play if you do make it that far. And realistically, when you're going up against a team like FSU on some of their best maps, maybe it doesn't favor you, but you can come out, you can show your best, you can show up, maybe take them down, and then prove to everybody else, maybe you're not so weak on these maps.
And I'll give you another reason why this kind of is a must-win map or match, even in general, for Utica as well, is you've got Shenandoah waiting in the wings later for you on tonight. Yes, they're 0-1 right now, but they had the hard matchup of going up against FSU first in the groups. That's the first match that they played. It's the only match that they've played. They're going to go up against GVSU as this match is also going on. I would imagine Shenandoah come away with that one. I don't want to completely speak that into existence because GVSU is a very good team. But from just what I've seen from Shenandoah towards the later half of the season, they were really on my kind of cusp of being inside of the top 25. I would imagine that they're able to take that match versus GVSU. So this match versus Utica, that could end up being, if Utica loses this, that last match could end up being who determines who kind of makes it in as the second seed if we say that Florida State's able to walk away with this one as well. It's a lot of ifs, right? But it's definitely possible. And if that does end up happening, Shenandoah 100% has the opportunity and the potential to be able to take a series off of Utica as well. So that could end up being a really crazy series later on as well.
And I can throw even more hypotheticals your way, Jesse, when you're comparing, how the likes of how the likes of GVSU look against Shenandoah, because it was a Game 5 victory for the likes of Utica against GVSU. And if GVSU gets smoked by Shenandoah, that is not going to be a good look for Utica going into that matchup later. So right now is your time to shine. If Utica can take down FSU, that's going to shake things up inside of this group, and it's definitely going to put a lot of eyes on the Pioneers, Jesse. So let's get things going. Let's hop into Tuscan, and let's see if they have what it takes.
Absolutely. We'll just have to keep our eyes on that matchup as it goes along here today. But all of you ready right inside of map number 1. Battle for middle map actually seems to be where the main fights are going down right off the rip here, but it's Florida State University, first team to be able to get inside of the hill, start to get a good significant amount of time here, but actually will end up losing a few players, and now Utica looking to pressure.
They're looking pressure, but they also have to keep the forward thinking to the rotations, because right now FSU in a solid spot to rotate from 1 to 2 cleanly. But there's going to be some good time from Utica here on P1, Jesse, with the early break. But you can see FSU with these better spots. They're going to take one last shot and even break from the front to make sure that Utica are denied this the last 14 seconds. So scrimmage here back in P1. Well, FSU, they're comfortably setting up for next.
Oh, they absolutely are. They should be able to hold on to the remainder of this time as well. And look at player number 6. Matt Truth's going to make the long play over towards the left side, over towards the top of command center, completely cuts off that angle. And now it's a complete one-prong attack here from Utica, and everybody falls. But they actually get the spawn up in the back. This is a red alert right now for Florida State.
Well, Matt Truth, it's a blessing and a curse that you can cut off that player, because now a good chance for Utica, like you said, Jesse, to pressure out this hill. They've already taken the player out from the inside. It's K-Cell to go down. And you see Brave Cannon on the hunt for these respawns. Jalen has his number. It's going to be 3 down still. Exile looking to make a play inside the hill. Good for 1, but the contention is going to be what you're looking for, as it's Polish Prince up top to find 2, keeping Utica in control of this hill for now. And Polish Prince, that clutch player that we were highlighting, Jesse, he goes big on this hill to deny so much time from FSU.
And even if you don't walk away with majority of time here on this hill, if you're Utica, at the very least, you stop Florida State from getting a solid setup and getting a good amount of time there for themselves. It's just an unfortunate spawn there that ends up coming through for Florida State, and now they need to just focus on the respawn and focus on the rotation all the way across the map now. And Queso will win a big one-on-one, so it's going to leave us with a 2v2 here for initial time.
Big thing that you have to watch out for Utica is disrupting the tempo, like we said. And so far, FSU, the rotations have been on point. You see 2 down for the Pioneers. A little bit struggle right now to get things going into it. And look at Mad Truth is just going rogue through the middle of the map. He's going to cut down even more rotations. K-Cell with a big one-on-one inside the hill. And just like that, a clean 4 down, Jesse.
Clean 4 down, and now they can look to start stacking on some time too. As soon as they've realized now, hey, you know what, we've completely cleared out our back, you can see everybody just starts to fly forward. They continue to make the players on Utica spawn so far out here. And honestly, if I'm Utica, I'm looking at this with 20 seconds left and saying we don't even have an opportunity at being able to push across this map now to contest for this back time. We need to just concede and just have a full setup here now going towards Surge.
When we're talking about that whole series, Jesse, between FSU and Barry, a big key points in their Tuscan hardpoint was the fact that they're comfortable with contesting from the front of the hill. So this early rotation from Pioneers, I want to see the slaying clean around the outside, because when FSU gets inside of this hill, you know it's going to get scrappy, and you can already see some of the kills going the way of FSU. K-Cell with a big win on the outside. Can he stay alive long enough to allow Mad Truth into this hill? He will be able to get him in the hill, but you can see Pioneers still coming away with the kills, still holding on to this time. They're only down by 20 seconds, Jesse, so this last 35 seconds are going to be super crucial to whoever picks it up.
That big kill that you were talking about from K-Cell, not only just big because of being able to find a little bit of time here and being able to continue to contest, but also finds that glide bombs, finds full streaks, for the side of Florida State University. That's going to be great for some of our more open maps, especially when you think about P1 and how crazy that that hill can get at certain times here. But it's just going to be fantastic for them going in towards the later portions of this. FSU will be able to at least contest for a little bit of time there. The lead does get dwindled down a bit from Utica, but now the main focus for everybody, it's rotating here over towards this command center hill, and it's going to be Utica, the first team here, first team set up.
Exile looking for some cheeky wall bangs, see if he can catch some Pioneers out in the open, although losing out on Brave Cannon is going to keep things even on the inside until K-Cell. Nice shots onto Frenzy. It's a quick 3 down now. Time to surge on forward if you are the Seminoles, and K-Cell's going to get the last one, the nail in the coffin for the break. Still at a 20-point lead, and they're looking to even push their lead even farther, Jesse. Comfortable inside Tuscan. They're dangerous for a reason.
As soon as they find those kills, everybody kind of pushes out. They start trying to cut off all of these angles, all of these little overextensions that Utica can make, and they're doing another great job here of a kind of very scrap-heavy hill, just getting the majority of time here against Utica, and it's working out so well for them. It's, again, just the submachine guns on Florida State really starting to take over this game here.
Well, you can even tell, Jesse, because that big one-on-one, that matchup that we were talking about, Mad Truth versus Frenzy. Frenzy is 6-17 right now. Not one you want to see when you're really highlighting to go toe-to-toe with the main slayer of FSU. So Mad Truth just doing what Mad Truth does best and keeping up with that slaying, making sure that FSU have the setups that they want and can comfortably pick up this time. You can already see it on the rotation. Exile in a perfect place, 4 in a row to cut off these rotations, looking for more. However, doesn't have to do anything because FSU has already cleared up everybody else.
I think a big thing here for Utica that you could at least take away from the first set of rotations is the fact that, you know what, you got outslayed very badly inside of that first set of rotations, but you were only down by 60 points. So it's still comebackable. You're still not dug yourself too deep into a hole that you just can't completely come back from. And there we go. They get 3 kills in a row through middle of the map. It's just Daniel left inside the hill. Exile will fall. And now you just need to make your push. You need to fly forward, get as much time as you can here on this old hill, and have a flawless rotation over to P2, and you're right back inside of this game.
I mean, the rotation for FSU would be important, but you still have those streaks, Jesse, so realistically, K-Cell can just open this one up. He's going to call it even with 2 down, so now you're looking at some big plays from Brave Cannon and K-Cell to get into this back line. Brave Cannon has been able to slip the line, will find a kill onto Polish Prince, now allowing the rest of FSU to surge on forward. It's a clean 2 down now, nobody inside the hill. K-Cell from the top rope sneaks out Divot from behind, although you look at that, Utica standing strong, Jesse. They're not letting it break just yet.
I think that glide bomb might have been invested a little bit too soon. There wasn't a whole lot of follow-up from the FSU players from that K-Cell glide bomb getting dropped in here. But nonetheless, you know what? They do end up not being able to go through successful on that first hit, but this second hit is looking a lot better. I was going to say it was looking a lot better, but Polish Prince will pop 2 inside the hill, and that's just going to completely stagger yet another push here from FSU.
Oh, Exile. Beautiful hip fire. He's on 3 in a row again as really shrieky into the second set of rotations. He's going to pick up this scrap time, Jesse, and while this is happening, I mean, this is perfect for FSU. They're up by 40 points, and they're going to have clear rotations over to P3, which they dominated in the first set.
Yeah, they really did, and it was kind of this portion of the map that they dominated on as well. Nobody on Florida State was ever kind of in a position where they were spawning out, and there they do. They still have rooftop spawns, so if they can find a way to now kind of push out and get these players off, they'll force that spawn out again from Utica and make them spawn all the way across the map.
A winner's advantage allows FSU, the Seminoles, to push up aggressively, slay on out, and get right back into this hill. They don't lose a single player, Jesse. It is perfect right now inside of the Fountain Hill. As you can see that, Utica, one last chance for a clean break. It's a beautiful set nade from Polish Prince to lead the way. K-Cell around the back. He gets shut down on 6 in a row. So no glide bump for K-Cell the second time around. It's still FSU collected time, but not having that kill streak might be a damper in the later end.
This Fountain Hill, though, has just been completely dominated for Florida State University. You said it, through the first set of rotations, all Florida State. Through that second set, once again, all Florida State. And look at the heads-up play here from K-Cell, making the push all the way through the backside. Just going to set up on this back tank now. Might have a one-on-one. Going to give away his position here. That's a little bit unfortunate. But at the very least, if you can stay alive back here, you should be able to pull those spawns.
Again, it's Utica, the first team inside of Church, Jesse. There's a good chance to shut things down, but if you remember last time, picked apart from FSU was a scrappy hill as they're comfortable with contesting. Inside the hill goes Brave Cannon, gonna hop in for the contention right away, dancing around while the rest of his team picks up the slang. It's 3 down for Pioneers. Frenzy, last alive to make a play, a little bit shaky, and it's gonna be Mad Truth to punish. And you can see around the hill, everything going the way of FSU, the Seminoles, into church just like that. And if you're the Pioneers, you just cannot let that happen.
No, and you need to contest for this back time too. You cannot even afford to get an early rotation now, because any little bit of time that you give towards Florida State will just allow them to get closer and closer to being able to close this game out and put it away here. But they're not going to be able to get this scrap time. It's just been too strong. Mad Truth inside of the hill will end up losing out that last fight, but you basically get no time out of that. Now you've got Florida State the only 40 points away from being able to close this map out.
211 to 135, commanding from the Seminoles. Brave Cannon for 3 in a row now. Gonna spoil the fun from the staircase, sliding on in. It's gonna be 4 in a row, make it 5 in a row unless Frenzy has some shots to say about it. And he's gonna surge on forward, flying to take down FSU. Good for 2 before he goes down. You can see his teammates pick up the scraps, Jesse. As the Pioneers, they're not giving up just yet, but you can see the FSU grouping up through the rooftops to take one last swing at this map hill. It's a beautiful position for Polish Prince to close out onto one. Trade it out from Mad Truth, and into the hill will be K-Cell, but he's going to drop right on the seam, as it's going to be some big kills coming out from Utica Pioneers. However, they just cannot hold on for long. Polish Prince looking to get this last little bit of scrap time, but it's going to be Brave Canada to shut him down.
So they hit for old, and they start to send 2 players as well on the rotation. So Florida State, because they win those 2 gunfights, they kind of are doing it all right now on this rotation. 228 to 160, only 22 points away from closing this game out here if you're FSU. But you've still got a shot here if you're Utica. If you can hold on to a good time here at P1, brings you right back into this, but that is a red kill feed. And now FSU 15 seconds away from closing out, and Utica need a break.
It's a bloody graveyard of Pioneers inside P1 right now, as it's nothing but the Seminoles on the inside. You get Exile shutting down Frenzy. Brave Cannon to take down Polish Prince. 7 seconds left. Divin looking to make one last play to desperately get into this hill, but he's going to drop. And can anybody touch for Utica? It's going to be a break from Polish Prince. They hold on for now, Jesse, but only 2 seconds. 2 seconds for FSU to put this one away. As you can see, they're grouping up for one last hit. It's a nade onto Divin, a double down onto Jalen. Polish Prince alone inside this hill. He's going to have Frenzy on the crossfire, but it's a too little too late. They have to get so many kills, and the break's going to come through into FSU. A commanding map number 1.
Very, very commanding map number 1. 250, 176, and it never felt like any point of that game like Florida State University wasn't in the driver's seat. Maybe Hill 1 and Hill 2 for a little bit once they got that little bit of a weird spawn in the back there, and Utica was able to take full advantage of it. But outside of that, it just felt like it was Florida State's game. The way that they dominated and the way that they zoned out Utica on that hill on P3 was just unbelievable. That was just some of the best zoning out and some of the best Call of Duty I've seen Florida State University play this year. And honestly, those 2 hills are probably the reason why you have this giant chunk of a scoreboard at the end of the game.
Jesse, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that Utica got heavily outslayed inside that map. Every single player except Exile above 30 kills. Mad Truth drops another 40 bomb, and even still, Exile positive 6 inside of the map. He was still making huge streaky plays to continue the dominance for FSU. And I mean, you can see that, yes, Utica were able to keep it close, but when you're getting outslayed like that, it just brings in the talking point that we brought of how comfortable FSU are at bullying from the front of the hill and denying time for their opponents.
And they absolutely did that multiple times throughout this game, right? Where you've seen Utica set up, Utica there. I think the one that really kind of springs to mind for me was P4 in the first set of rotations, where you saw Utica had the back spawns. Florida State fought from the front for the entire portion of the hill, but then they pushed through. They never really allowed Utica to get a good significant amount of time, even though they didn't really end up walking to a time of their own. Being able to contest for 30, 40 seconds of that hill is 40 to 30 seconds that Utica wasn't able to walk away with at the end of the day, and kept you that much further ahead in terms of your overall lead.
And it even happened in the second set of rotations on that hill for Jesse. So FSU, just consistency. I think one thing you can really highlight about their hard points that I'm really impressed by is the tempo and the consistency that they play for. You never really see them let off the gas throughout any of their hard points, or at least lately in any of their hard points. And I'm impressed by that. You know, a lot of teams, you know, they're not as practiced as that. They're not as disciplined. And a lot of times we will see teams let off the gas, but we didn't get to see that in that Tuscan.
No, they came here with one purpose in mind. Their purpose is to get the job done, walk away out of this series with a 2-0 record inside of this Group D matchup. and just be able to make their way, almost solidify themselves into bracket play. That's exactly what Florida State is here to do today, and they absolutely have every potential of doing so. And you know what, this 1-0 start, that's exactly what they needed going in towards, I guess what you could say is their weakest game mode now of Search and Destroy. They are 12-8 overall. If Utica, I think, was to ever find a map against this team, Search and Destroy is the place to start.
And I guess you could put like quotation marks on weakest game mode for FSU, because they've looked a lot better lately inside of the second game mode, Jesse. I know that they're showing a lot more versatility, a lot more depth, and the fact that they're actually coming out with set strats is something that's going to lead them, you know, to a lag over a lot of their opposition. So I'm looking at Utica to answer back with the same thing, set strats, you know, maybe bait out some utility, see if they can force some rotations. Although when it's coming down to it, it's still the slaying going of FSU's. You see a first blood, a second one. Frenzy looking to bring this one back. You see two the other way, and Frenzy, he flips the script. It's a 2v1. Mad Truth last alive.
And that's the frenzy that we needed to see inside of the first map, where he just completely starts to take over here. Mad Truth will get eyes on the bomb planter, though. Throws a stun out as well. Knows he needs to try to stay alive here in this situation. And this is a beautiful play from Utica. They're just going to group up together, now try to make this rotation over towards the B side, but it looks like Mad Truth may have sniffed it out.
Oh, I think he's got the read, but I like that.
Oh, he has the wrong read.
Together, and no, he's going for the full wrap around. Bomb's going to go down, so he knows. He's been bamboozled. Player number 3 on the left, 1 on the right, completely collapsed. Frenzy's going to spot him out. Going to get tagged down at 19, and there is the pinch. Utica Pioneers, what looked like a weak start. They get first blooded, but they pull it back.
They got first and second blooded. No, there was a 2v4 at the end of the day. I mean, a technical 2v4, maybe a player or two weak inside of that situation, but still at the end of the day, it's a 2v4. It's a 2v4, and it's exactly what you need against a team like Florida State University, just to give yourself a little momentum going back into your favor. That's exactly how Utica needed to start out this game for themselves. You absolutely love to see it here. 1-0 lead. And I think that battle for University is going to be the battle that we see very often throughout this whole map here. And if Frenzy can keep dominating the way that he did there inside of that round number 1, that's going to be your key to success probably here for Utica.
Another first blood, this time Divin. Going to be falling. I didn't see where that kill came through, but it had to be through University again. Bomb going down at B. Match with a second one, Jesse. So again, numbers advantage. Jalen for the trade. Frenzy looking to get down onto the bomb, but he's going to be spotted by Exile. This is some good pressure from FSU from all angles. Jalen's going to drop, leaving Frenzy last alive, and it is a flawless round number 2 for FSU to bounce back.
And that's Florida State saying, hey, you know what? You guys had a great first round here. Hold my beer. I'm going to come out. We're going to have a great round here for ourselves inside of round number 2. It's exactly what you want to see for FSU to just kind of, you know, bounce their way right back into this one. We'll have to see what they can continue on here. But, I mean, their last offense was looking quite dominant. They pushed right through University. They found the first 2, could not find anything afterwards. And now I think it's just all about just trying to stay alive. And I think we're getting a little bit of change of pace here as well, because you just saw Daniel Exile pulled out the sniper, and he'll be watching over that entire B lane.
Brave Cannon gets eyes through the door. Frenzy has no clue whatsoever. Cheeky as ever from Brave Cannon. That's not just first blood, but that's bomb down. So completely bringing the Pioneers to a halt.
And now everybody's just going to be staggering for position. Divin's in a great spot here. Just if anybody on FSU gets a little bit too aggressive through this top platform, he can just kind of drop them down and even get away with his life with just the positioning of his other players. But it looks like he's going to now be the player who chooses to get aggressive, checks out all the angles, and he realizes, hey, you know what? Top is completely open. Let me go check out bottom now.
Get a kill into Brave Cannon, shut down this 4 spree. It's going to be huge, but side by side, it's not an easy gunfight to take, especially when he's straight up. You look at K-Cell looking to make a play through the back. Polish Prince going to get eyes on. Unfortunately, he's going to drop now information that K-Cell's in the back. Divin's not going to hop off. Luckily, Jalen's there to help him out onto the bomb, though. It's Divin to drop. Brave Cannon now 5 in a row, and Jalen lasts alive. He cannot escape with his life. I'm pretty sure that was Brave Cannon to find the last kill, Jesse, and if it was, 6 kills in a row. No, it was Exile with the sniper. That change of pace that you said coming into fruition at the end to open up a second round for FSU.
Yeah, Exile at the very end there coming through. Nice big snipe, exactly what you want to see. If you're going to pull it out, you need to be able to find kills with it. Daniel will get one at the very end there. And you know what? The other thing that Daniel did through a lot of that round was kind of just sat back and was able to, at the very least, keep the players on the side of Utica honest. They just weren't ever able to really get any good positioning there because everybody just had to respect the sniper in that spot, in that situation. Look at K-Cell getting really, really aggressive here through the start of this round. And I thought he was going to bust right into the side of into the side of University with the way he was playing there, but actually just going to choose to back up, maybe play it a little bit slower, try to work this bomb down over towards B.
Yeah, Jalen really the only one here who could get possible eyes on. You can see a trade of shots back and forth, but the bomb is going down at B, Jesse. And with that, still no first blood. So Utica forced in a position where they're going to have to put some pressure on. Unfortunately, Brave Cannon tucked away. He's got 6 in a row now as he pulls first blood. And immediately he's hopping on the flank just to make sure that Utica are nervous on their back line.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go for a flank straight through, but no, he's just going to sit top University now. And he won't even end up finding that kill of the player who pushed through top University. It will be a 4v1. Polish Prince now left all alone. Will find Exile on the back, but it's a 1v3. It's so tough to do, and as soon as your position is given away out inside of those dunes, you are just a fish in a barrel at that point.
You know, Jesse, if he got that second shot off, I was for sure seeing a snipe hit Mad Truth right there. But that's first shot misses the mark, and you get punished. That is the... You know, like I said, the blessing and the curse of a sniper is you miss that first shot, you're probably going to be punished.
Yeah, very, very much so. And you saw it just come through there once again. Utica, ever since that first round, Colin, not really able to get anything going. And they've done a great job of taking away the middle of the map from FSU. But FSU, they've kind of realized as well that that's Utica's game plan, is to take away that middle map. And all that Utica has been, or all that Florida State's really been doing is just kind of saying, hey, you know what? You want to take middle of the map? You go right ahead. We'll just put the bomb down over at B. This time through, it's going to be a hit from Utica over towards A to get the bomb down. But at a man disadvantage, you got to think that FSU should be able to retake this.
Jesse, it's just been those first bloods. Polish Friends going to keep Exile honest. You get the trade from Frenzy to keep it even, although keeping the pressure on Mad Truth on 4 in a row. This is a 2v3 for the retake. Exile going to get aggressive on the outside. Spots Polish Prince with his pants down, leaving Jalen last alive. 1v3, 21 seconds. You got the bomb down. Unfortunately, you're collapsed on all angles. And you're going to have to make a heroic play right here. Going to get into the bomb. Can he find the planter? No. Exile staying alive with the rescue mission from Mad Truth. And that's going to lead FSU now 5-1 in the search and destroy. No, 4-1 in the search and destroy. I'm a little bit ahead of myself.
The only thing that sucks right now for Florida State is they're finding all these kills, which is great, but they're not feeding any of their players who are on streaks. You've got 2 players now in Mad Truth and Brave Cannon who are on 5 and on 6. And you've had 2 rounds for Brave Cannon, who's been very close to being able to finish these streaks off. If Utica starts to bring a way back into this game and starts to fight their way back in, and FSU doesn't find those streaks, I mean, it could end up being a very big blunder by the end of this map.
It just comes down to the first blush, Jesse. Utica have to be more reserved in that factor because playing a man down every single round is just going to lead to what we see now in the score is Exile fishing through dunes for blood with the sniper. I'm not sure if anybody got eyes on him, but they did get the stun, so they know players out into the dunes. You got Divin laying down behind the bomb. Polish Prince fishing up top with Frenzy. But FSU very, very reserved into this round, Jesse. We haven't seen a first blood just yet. 54 seconds. Brave Cannon looking to make a move through University. Oh, it looks like he's comfortable just staying tucked away.
Oh, Jalen's going to push out. Find one. Oh, can't get away with his life, though, so still not into a great spot here. Frenzy will find another through middle of the church.
Frenzy!
Make that 2 through middle of the church, or through middle of University. That's absolutely massive. And now it's going to leave Daniel all alone here. 1v3. That is a nasty snipe, Daniel. Can you make this work in a 1v2 now?
Let's see him put that boomstick to work. Bomb's going to get recovered. 1v2. 21 seconds to play for. I'm sure Polish Prince knows there's going to be an A-site hit. No time to rotate over to B.
Oh, the timing.
Calling for the rotation from Divin. Exile collapsed on both ends. Can hit the snipe. Oh, he did hit the snipe. But Divin's there to close it out. And Utica, they stay alive. They stay away from map point, Jesse. And even more, your whole story came true. They shut down both streaks in Mad Truth as well as Brave Cannon.
No streaks come through. That is massive for Utica because you have been dominated through those last 4 rounds before that final round there. but it does not matter at all because you don't give up streaks. Now it's just all about bringing this big lead back in towards your favor here. At least get it back to a 4-4. Make it a best of 3 at the end of this game. That gives you your best chance of being able to close this one out. Brave Cannon looks like he spotted one, goes for a very aggressive chow, and Frenzy will find the kill. And once again, that's Frenzy completely dominating that middle map and taking it away from Florida State University.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Or I guess it's the other way around. Even though Frenzy turning up, like you said, 7-5, finds a second. It's the round 2v2. So we go even. He's got Matt Truth alive with this AR, and he has been a menace up top. We're playing the same situation. It seems like they know Polish Prince is going to give him away. Frenzy looking to collapse, although still alive, and he's going to find Polish Prince through the window, leaving Frenzy alone and afraid inside a 1v2. Not sure if he knows that this player is all the way behind him, but you can see player number 7, Exile, rotating back around to his teammate. No, he's going to take full control of the dune. So at the moment, Jesse, FSU, they have every angle locked down. Frenzy's going to have to take a gunfight at some point. It looks like he just wants to run it right down. I'm not sure if Matt Truth is going to be ready for this one. Up the ladder he goes. Oh, and he's going to get a rude awakening eventually. Frenzy's going to be here, even one-on-one. Exile versus Frenzy. Let's get it going.
He's only got 15 seconds left to get this bomb down, though, so he'll have to just get aggressive and either take the gunfight or put it down. Bomb will start going down, but Daniel's going to be in a perfect spot to shut that down. Now a 1v1. Frenzy needs to get the kill. He can't plant the bomb. And Daniel's just going to tuck his tail between his legs and get out of dodge, and Florida State will win a round. That's just perfectly played by Daniel there.
Veteran plays coming from a veteran player. Exile, a player that we have highlighted, Jesse, to have the utmost depth on this FSU team to take them to new heights inside of Search and Destroy. And you can see coming out in a 1v1 situation, you know you have the time clock in your favor, and he plays it to a T.
Yeah, it was just beautiful. And I mean, at that point, too, if you're Frenzy there, it's like you need to just take the gunfight, right? Maybe played it a little bit too staggered. You should have known that Daniel would have gotten the call out there to know where you are. And yeah, Brave Cannon is just getting super aggressive on defense again.
A Polish Prince doesn't know what hit him, and all of a sudden, Jalen, it seems like he is very afraid of what's happening around him. They weren't able to spot him out, but a first blood is going to be looking like a bomb down at B as Jalen looking to bring back control. Up their spawn, he's going to find a kill onto Brave Cannon from behind. Bomb goes down at B. Just receiving a little heat from the inside, but Frenzy's going to flip this one out. He's going to find a kill onto KCL, leaving Matt Truth last alive in a 1v3. Gives away his position with the kill onto Frenzy, but the bomb's being defused, and he has no idea. So you might find the kills onto both players, but this Search and Destroy is not over yet. Divin sticks it out to the end, and they're going up to 3.
That was a pretty interesting call there to just make the full push through if you're Florida State there. Everybody flies through, and they essentially flipped the map out for themselves. We're trying to take control of the defensive side of the map and allow the offense on the right-hand side or make the defense have to come through the offensive side of the map. It doesn't end up working out for them, but you got to give them credit for just trying something a little bit new inside of that situation. But all that does at the end of the day, it keeps Utica with at least a shot of being able to come back into this one. Mad Truth, once again, in his natural habitat, up on top of this building, died here back-to-back rounds. We'll just have to see if he can stay alive this time.
We got that university play again, Jesse. It's Frenzy, and it's been Frenzy. 10-6. Can he come out with another one? No, Brave Cannon tucked away in the corner. From the shadows, he emerges. Will even us up, although you're looking at a big flank play here from Jalen. In behind 2 players. Not sure that Exile spotted him, but it seems like he's on the case. Bomb's going down at A. Polish Prince with the sniper is going to remove him. Exile's going to drop as well. Big plays from Jalen. 1v1. Brave Cannon. Sniper in hand. MP40 in the pocket. The bomb going down. It's still 10 seconds left, so Brave Cannon, he has to hop this. And Jalen, he knows that. There's no time. And again, a clutch play, Jesse, to keep Utica inside the Search and Destroy.
And that was just a really, really quick plant from Utica, too. They pushed all the way up the map, get that bomb down, and then also overextend through the Florida State University side of the map, and they shut down them from finishing that round out. That's just a great play to come through there. And now if you're Florida State, I mean, you got to find a way to close this one out. You cannot allow this to go to a round 11 if you're Florida State. It has just not been your bread and butter. Those deep search and destroy rounds seems to feel like where they fall off a little bit. And if you're Utica, you are absolutely loving every second of this game right now. But Florida State, they'll take this bomb. And it looks like they are just going to get aggressive once again through the university portion of the map. Not going to get too aggressive and push straight in because they know at the end of the day, Frenzy is in there with a submachine gun with their name on it.
First blood to Divin. In the second half of the search, Jesse, Utica have been so good at pulling those first bloods. Now a second from Jalen. On to Exile, and it looks like Divin wants to fly. He's just going to hold on to this corner. Not give anything to FSU to work with as you're down to now Bravekin and Mad Truth. Big hit Slayers. Inside not just the hard point for the search and destroy. Eyes onto Jalen. You're getting the team shots. The Sun in the back cooks the nade. Jalen's going to get it on his doorstep. Unfortunately, he's not going to go down. Mad Truth now needs to play for his guns. He's in a 1v4, now a 1v3. All eyes on him to make some big play here and shut this one down. But if not, we are going to a round 11. Is he going to take the fight to the dunes? Jalen laying down. He is in the grave. Polish Prince and Divin versus Mad Truth. Divin is tucked away into the B side. Mad Truth, no eyes on, but he's still going to find the kill. No way. 1v1 Polish Prince, Mad Truth, bomb in hand. He's going to make the dart to A. This is such a smart call. But it's just a fake. Back to B he goes. Polish Prince is here. He's going to put the bomb down, and it's not done yet. Pioneers, they clutch up again. A 1v1 to Polish Prince. We are going the distance.
Oh, can we even call that a clutch up, though? That was almost a throwaway and a half. They almost fumbled the bag so hard in that situation. It was a 4v1. Ended up being a 1v1 at the end of the day, and that would have been one of the more crazy 1v1s that we have had all year long, or I should say 1v4s that we've had all year long, but it doesn't come through. And now we get a round 11 here. Utica on offense, FSU on defense, and Utica has been very strong over towards the A side of the map, and I think that's why you're seeing such a heavy defensive prowess from FSU over towards this portion.
K-Cell tucked away in a corner. Divin, no idea. That's bomb down now. 3v4 and Pioneers. That bomb is down in such a terrible position. Going to enemy territory just to get it, and K-Cell laying prone. Frenzy not expecting him to hit the deck, Jesse, and things not looking good for Pioneers in round 11.
No, it's not. Polish Prince will find the trade on the outside. Can't finish off the shots on the Mad Truth up top, but at least it's a 2v3, and Jalen does have university control at the moment, so might just be able to make something work here.
Didn't get eyes on the Mad Truth. Finally, Will. Shots are going to be good. Unfortunately, Brave Cannon right around the corner to trade it out. 1v3 Polish Prince against the world. They know exactly where he is. And Exile is going to shut this one down. Clutching up in that round 11. It may have been scary, Jesse, but FSU up 2-0 in the series.
A little bit too close for my comfort. I'm not going to lie. If I'm an FSU fan there, I'm looking at that search and destroy. I'm shaking my head a little bit. But you know what? At the end of the day, a map win is a map win. I'll be happy and I'll walk away with it. But you can see, just look at the slain numbers still on the side of Florida State in itself. There are multiple rounds there that they probably should have won. I mean, 12-5, 10-5, 8-6. I mean, even K-Cell had a really, really good map and ended up finishing 8-10. Definitely don't think that this map should have gone to the full round 11, but Utica, they were just clutching up in the right situations to be able to get it done at the end of the day. And honestly, sometimes that's all you need in a search and destroy to be able to close out the map.
I mean, Jesse, they were really falling short to the first half of that search and destroy to the First Bloods, but you can tip the hat to the Pioneers as they really slowed things down, and you can see that Frenzy, Divin, they were working wonders in finding First Bloods towards the second half. I mean, 11-9 out of Frenzy, really a staple to why they brought that back, but at the same time, you know, the clutch presence out of Jalen and Polish Prince, getting things done when they needed to. And although they don't get it done, a strong showing from them on Desert Siege Search and Destroy. Yes, you want to walk away with that and maybe go 1-1 in the series moving into this control, but you're looking good in Desert Siege Search and Destroy. Fix a few things, you know, start off like you ended that, and you're possibly looking at a 1-1 tie here.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, you started off down 4-1 as well, so to even bring that one all the way back to around 11, very impressive in its own rights there for Utica. And you know what, maybe they're just one or two steps away from being able to kind of compete and be able to be on like the same level as this Florida State University team. But unfortunately right now, it's just not looking like the case there. Inside of that map, they were right there. Like you said, if they clean up a few of those things in the early rounds, we probably have a tie series here. They were not able to figure out what FSU was doing early on in the game, and that's where FSU really took the big advantage. And now going into the control, I mean, I would still say Utica might have been able to get a little bit of they might have been able to get a little bit of momentum back at the end of that game there. So if they can kind of carry the weight that they played at the end of that game into this control, you never know what can happen.
Well, hopefully Utica's little stint inside that search and destroy can propel them to a map win inside the series, because in their best match inside of their group, or the most important match right now, down 2-0, it has to be a reverse sweep, folks. So when we come back, it's going to be a Tuscan control that we are looking at to get some momentum underneath the Pioneers, and it's going to be an important one. So stay tuned, get some snacks on break, because we'll be right back with the College COD Bravo stream. Welcome back to the Bravo stream as we are into the playoff groups. I hope you guys got snacks on break, because, well, this could either go a long way and you might want those snacks, or you might want to just munch on some snacks into this map number 3, because FSU have been dominant so far, Jesse. Up 2-0 in the series, looking at 3-0 sweep Utica Pioneers to stay perfect inside of Group D. Now, talk to me a little bit. We're going into a Tuscan control. You're looking at Pioneers to bring this back to start their reverse sweep, Jesse. What do you need from them inside of a respawn?
That's hard to say, right? Because Utica, they've kind of brought the fire in this series quite a bit. I mean, the maps definitely haven't been the most far off thing. That map 1 inside of the Tuscan hardpoint, it ended up finishing off as a 75-point game, but Utica, I mean, outside of 2 hills, kept it fairly close for the most part. And then even inside of that last map, we're down 4-1, brought it all the way back to a round 11, ended up losing inside of that round 11. I think, honestly, it's just going to come down to closing out a lot of clutch situations, and that happens a lot inside of control. I think that Utica is playing to the potential that they need to play to right now. It's just kind of maybe taking that next step, going above and beyond where you can really kind of you've hit your ceiling. You just need to kind of blast through it at this point if you're Utica. And going into it, it's not going to be easy against Florida State. You're going into their best game mode now of control. This is where Florida State has won out a lot of their series this year in 3-0 fashion. So if you're Utica, it's going to be a tough time to come into this map to be able to win it and walk out. But, I mean, if you do, that kind of sets up a good arc for themselves. Going in towards the back half of the series, you got Gavutu next, where we've seen Florida State, maybe not in hardpoint, but in other maps or in other modes, kind of struggle inside of Gavutu. So I think that Utica has a decent chance here, but it really comes down to having to win this Tuscan.
And Jesse, I like that you're talking about that, you hit your ceiling if you're Utica, and you really need to push a little bit past this, because if you don't do it now, I mean, realistically, when do you have your chance? This is playoffs, and it's when you need to find that step up. Like, it's what we highlight, not just for this team, but for all the teams inside of playoffs. And you look at Utica, we mentioned at the start of the show that they don't just have FSU to go through. They have Shenandoah, too, to play, and that's not an easy game to go up against. So you need to find that level up. You need to reach new heights and break through that ceiling like you're talking about, Jesse. And if you don't do it here against the Seminoles, I don't know when you're going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's tough, right? Because if they lose this match, like we said, Shenandoah is a tough matchup after. But you know what? If they play like how they're playing in this match right now against Florida State, there's always a chance, right? Against Shenandoah in that spot. It's not going to be easy though. But we'll just have to wait and we'll have to see what ends up happening here throughout this map. But right off the rip, we're going to have Florida State University first team on offense. They're going to go right over towards the A site, but it might just be a little bit of a bait of Mad Truth trying to get the rest of these players over here, because you can see the rest of the team is pushing over towards B.
That's what you need right there. Frenzy versus Mad Truth. Frenzy clearing off the A zone right now. Brave Cannon in the back, going to be shut down again. It's Frenzy, leaving Exile the only one alive on 3, now 4 in a row. Pulling away a lot of attention from the Pioneers over towards the B zone, allowing his teammates to get back onto A and start solidifying some progress to that zone. And while this is happening, you can see nobody from Pioneers, Jesse, in a position to stop these 2 ticks. Third tick's on its way. It's going to be 2 players stacking this zone. And unless Polish Prince can get in, this zone is gone. And we are adding another minute on.
Yeah, Daniel Exile being the ultimate annoyance inside of the back of B, just staying alive for as long as he can, just being annoying, not allowing really Utica to get any kind of momentum going into their favor now, though. For FSU, yeah, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. Yeah, you've got a 4-life lead, but the hard job is now you got to find a way to break into this B zone.
Kill from K-Cell, unfortunately. Last alive now that he's lost out on Exile behind. And the patience, the respect coming out for the Pioneers here. You can see that they're just looking to see if they can funnel on in these Seminole players and shut them down one by one. Mad Truth snuck in around behind, but again, look, Jalen, well aware that the backline is susceptible. He's going to turn around now, leaving Brave Cannon alone inside of this FSU team. They are handling business on B.
And look at Polish Prince pushing so far out right now for Utica as well. Going to make a full flank all the way through the north portion of the map. Now I'm going to have to try to make the flank in towards the bottom side of the map as well, just to get in behind a lot of these players on FSU. But at the very least, if you're Polish Prince here, you're just being annoying. You're not allowing them to get set up. You're making them have to take staggered pushes to try to get into this hill. But they will find a few kills. Now, this is probably their best chance if you're Florida State to fly forward and try to get some map position in.
Brave Cannon, huge win underneath. On 3 in a row, Jesse. And look at the overwatches there. Tagged up is Polish Prince and Brave Cannon now 4 in a row. A chance to stack the site. 3 players on at the moment. You can see player number 1, Mad Truth, looking to cut off these rotations even more as he swings around the corner. It's going to be Divin wide open. Frenzy into the hill for the contention. Needs to go big. Good for 1, but his teammates still dropping 1 ticket progression. Looking at it picked up, but luckily for Pioneers, Jesse, nobody was on board to just solidify it. Finally, they're going to hop on. And it's a little bit of team deathmatch right now. It's giving the chance for the Pioneers to climb back out. They're 5 lives up, Jesse. 30 seconds. It is still doable.
This is definitely doable for Florida State here. You only need to find 4 more kills to close this map out. But with 20 seconds left, you really can't afford to get full 4-man wiped here yourself.
Oh, especially when you got Polish Prince, the clutch Prince, inside of Tuscan control. Jesse still alive. Frenzy tucked away on the stairs. Mad Truth has the read. 3 players remaining. It's Divin for the trade, still with the lives in advantage. You see FSU stopping the clock at 10 seconds, looking to cut this one down and close it out. And it's going to be the 2 last kills going the way of FSU. And the first round offense solidified.
One thing to always keep your mind on, though, is even though Florida State walk away with the offensive round win, and yes, that's generally the hard part, is that they did only do that off of kills alone. So in terms of just overall tick progression, only get 4 ticks of progression all the way through there. And if you've been to watching Call of Duty at any point this year, or at least since the, I guess, mid-season update of the year, it's been they've changed it to now being tick progressions to find that final defense. So if you're Florida State, I mean, it's great, you get the job done. But now, if you know what, if you do end up allowing an offensive win from Utica, and they get all the ticks of progression that they need, it could give them the advantage they need going into towards that final round. We'll just have to see if Utica can even win an offense, though, at that point.
Power positions from FSU picking away at the Pioneers' lives. You can see Brave Cannon from the top ropes flying bravely into that hill. Now, 12-5 for himself, really stepping up to the plate in slaying for this FSU roster, Jesse. But the Pioneers a chance now to get some progression over towards A. Beautiful place. Nathan K-Cell's going to allow Exile around the corner. Unfortunately, you got Divin posted up, picking away. Matt Truth around the outside, really going to put a damper on this A zone. But still, Utica in control, Jesse. They're still stopping this clock, and they're going to lock down a second tick.
Yep, second tick should go through here, and it's really only Exile that's close enough to even try to shut this third tick from going through, and he won't be able to do so. K-Cell might take 1 shot at this. No, just try to chase the player in towards the bottom of church, able to drop them down. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely not a bad job done there from Utica off the start. 19 to 18 in life, so you got 2 minutes now to work with as you try to make your way over towards B. And we saw it in the last round. All Florida State really needed was to find 1 big wipe, and then once they got inside, they were able to play together, get a big life lead in their favor, and close the round out like that. Utica now looking for that big wipe of their own.
They need that big wipe, too. Unfortunately for themselves, these aggressive SFGs have so much control towards that bottom of the minimap. You can see Mad Truth tucked away over inside of maps. Will be caught from Frenzy, so a chance to punish now from the Pioneers. You can see a flank play happening around the outside. Still looking for that 4 down. Jesse Divin going to catch Mad Truth again. It's 2 down. Make it 3 down. Now that Frenzy's going to take down K-Cell. Brave Cannon looking to flank this one out. You got Exile turning up inside of this hill, but still FSU in control of this B zone. Yet you haven't seen the Pioneers really break this apart.
You've seen that, but also here, though, you got to realize if you're Utica, you've got 2 players in the back of the spawn. Jalen will end up falling down, so it's actually now just going to leave Polish Prince all by themselves. They'll find 1, can't find 2 in the back, and that kill coming through middle of the map from Mad Truth will be all 4 players down now for Utica. FSU should know that, and you should look to see these players now looking to try to start flying forward.
And Jesse, yes, they have all those players inside of the spawn of FSU, but it's just so scattered right now from the Pioneers. Not a lot of unisons coming out for them, as you are going to be still looking for that clean break to get into this B zone. Now 3 lives down. A chance there to make something happen until Polish Prince goes down. We're looking at Frenzy leading the way. It's going to be Divin to back him up. 2 down again. Exile on the flank. He's going to get caught. Frenzy well aware of the positioning. Now 18 seconds left. You're looking at Divin, the closest one to touch the zone. Will stop the clock at 15 seconds. Finds a kill on the K-Cell. Looking to play his life while the reinforcements come on in. But Jalen's going to drop. It's a nade from Brave Cannon off of spawn. Cutting away at these Pioneers, Jesse. And FSU, they just look unbreakable right now. These rounds are close, but they're not giving them away.
It's only a 2v4. You still definitely have a chance here. Polish Prince will go down, and now that should probably see the end of the round. He had to hop on the hill, had to stop the time, and that's where FSU takes full advantage. And you know what FSU did so well in that round, Colin, is they not only did a great job of pushing forward and kind of starting to take away map control from Utica, but every single time it felt like Utica got a kill there, it felt like Florida State had somebody right in a position to find the trade. There was just never a spot where you saw a 3 or a 4-man go down on the side of Florida State University. When you did, you just saw another 3 go down on the side of Utica. Always people in position to trade makes it so hard to be able to push into that B zone with limited numbers with how close the defensive spot is.
2-0 up, Jesse. Utica Pioneers, they need to reverse sweep into the reverse sweep. Starting off inside this round on defense. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Divin's going to double down for the team. Slows things down here for the Seminoles. Unfortunately for Utica, is that Exile still alive on 28 HP. He's going to come away with a big one-on-one. Jalen now in a position where you need this flank to go well. Unfortunately, it's going to be K-Cell tucked away, still denying these flanks. And FSU Esports just so comfortable inside Tuscan, Jesse. You can see why we were favoring them inside this map.
Yeah, Tuscan is just a kind of a playground for these submachine gun players. We saw it in map 1. We're seeing it again here, where they just really start to turn up. This is where they can take over the game, is on a map like Tuscan, and Brave Canyon's going to continue to push forward, try to get into the spawn here of the Utica Pioneers. Will end up going down, but at the very least, you've got enough room on the map where everybody flies forward. Again, if you're FSU, you hop into A, and this surely will be the A zone completely finished off here. Now you get an extra minute onto the clock, so 2 minutes left, and practically the exact same lives as we saw inside of the last round that we saw on offense for FSU. So at this point, are they going to do the exact same thing they did in the last round and just try to play for kills?
I mean, Jesse, both rounds, the A zone has gone considerably early. It's the B zone that is troublesome on Tuscan, and we know that. And you can see just why. The positioning of defenders. Frenzy on a flank. He's going to find one Lockstone Brave Kitten who stumbled on his way up into church. And you can see now the defensive team just looking to get map controls. Frenzy 4 in a row. Now going to be looking for streaks.
Frenzy can find these streaks that could be massive, because if you close this round out and have streaks left for round number 4 as well, that could be the opening they need to get onto the B zone themselves. But Frenzy goes down. That's going to be the streak talk completely finished off here for at least the time being. And now you see FSU trying to group up as well through the top portion of the command center, and now trying to make their way out. They still don't have a ton of map control, but they didn't in the last round that they won either. And they find a 3 in a row, and now is their opportunity to push forward.
It was the same story back in round 1, Jesse. 3 go down. Now Brave Cannon on the flank. Frenzy didn't see it coming. He's going to hit a flank again. This time into the spawn of Utica, and they have no idea. Exile's going to find a big one up top. Still alive on 3 in a row as you have a pinch inside the hill. Unfortunately, Exile's going to go down, leaving Brave Cannon on a mission. Inside of the spawn, hunting him down. It's going to be these Pioneers. He's going to be caught out on the prone.
No!
Not cleaned up. Oh, Divin just got worked. Brave Cannon now 5 in a row. Still alive inside of the zone, still holding off this time. Finally going to be cleaned up by Divin, but so much damage done, Jesse. 30 seconds left. Utica down by 1 life.
And 6v6 now. 22 seconds left. FSU definitely has a shot still trying to break into this. K-Cell did get that information out of Jalen. Will find that kill. Now you just need to try to push forward. Try to get onto the zone so you can stop the clock and then just play your numbers from that point on.
10 seconds left. Utica 1 life down. Can't afford any mistakes. Tucked away is going to be Polish Prince inside the hill. Divin shuts down K-Cell. Matt Truth's going to bring this back. 2 for himself. Looking for 3. He's doing it all. Looking to hop on board. Now 4 seconds left. Frenzy's going to cut them down from behind. Keep the clock burning. As this is still doable, as Polish Prince going to come around the outside and keep Utica inside this control.
Wow, Frenzy makes a massive kill there just to get them off of the hill for a small bit of time. And that small bit of time was all they needed to walk away with that round win. But now comes the hard part, Colin. They've done it. They've been able to at least in both. They were at least able to get 3 ticks of progression. Now you need to win an offense here if you're Utica. If you want to see that round number 5, you need to win an offense. You've done some of the easy work. The hard job is getting that B zone. But if they can get both zones, I mean, all they need is 4 ticks of progression and an offensive round win here, and they'll give themselves that final defense.
Jesse, it just seems like it takes so much effort from the Pioneers just to get a drop of blood on the Seminoles. See, this offensive round so important just to keep their life alive in some of these groups. But Mad Truth gonna slay away over towards A. You can see a ditch over towards B from the Pioneers. Stiven's gonna stay alive, stops the clock at a minute 13, pulling away the attention of FSU, and it's hopefully allowing your respawns over to the A zone. But Brave Cannon's gonna stay behind and denying that potential, as this is just perfect plays at FSU. Mad Truth on the flank. He's going to put a halt over towards B. Up top's going to punish Jalen. Inside the hill, Divin falls. And Pioneers, their early setup, it's going to shut down.
And yeah, they don't really care about allowing that 1 tick of progression if you're FSU here, because now you've got so much map control. You can just continue to pin these Utica players in the back of the spawn. They're going to all spawn up right beside the left portion of the command center. But this is actually just not a good case scenario now for FSU, because everybody on Utica can fly forward. They can stack the point. This will be the B zone completely finished here. FSU making a big blunder, and now all Utica needs to do is get the A zone, and they've got 2 minutes left to do so.
Jesse, I said in the hard point, they did a great job at not letting go of the gas. This time around, they let up. They allow Pioneers in. And even with 10 lives, there's still a chance to keep going. Brave Cannon looking to cut off some of these respawns. Not going to be able to find any. Frenzy cuts him down. Exile playing forward progression inside of this with the AR on a power position. Goes 1 for 1. Will slow things down, and KCell just keeps it going. It's just 1 by 1. FSU in positions to close things out. Jesse, 6 lives remaining for the Pioneers. As it's the last chance, you're looking at Jalen to get things going. 3 go down. Exile alone in the hill.
They need to zone out Exile. Pinch this player out by themselves. Exile will get his friends to show up now, though. They get a little bit of reinforcements, but the kill's still going down into the favor of FSU at the moment here. Or sorry, in the favor of Utica at the moment. They stop the clock. You've only got 5 lives left, and this is pretty much a hard point at this point on. You just need to continue to zone out the Utica players. How
does Exile stay alive for so long? He's going to allow KCell back into the sill to clear out the presence. Frenzy still tearing away through mid. Inside you, it's 2 down. 4 for 11. 1 tick being worked on. A minute 18, Jesse, inside the round. It's got to be bloody. If Pioneers want it, it's got to be scrappy. But that's what you expect in CCL playoffs. But if FSU, they're not going to allow it. 1 left is going to be Jalen. He's going to drop an FSU 3-0 sweep Utica to go up 2-0 in their group.
Oh, man. FSU, though, I am seeing a few mistakes here inside of this control that cannot be overlooked. I was expecting to see a really, really well polished off control team here at 11-2. And yes, I know it's a 3-1 victory there, but that last round got a little bit too scary. A little bit lucky, I think. They found so many kills early on inside of that round, because if they didn't find all of those kills, the way that they pushed those spawns out and forced all the Utica players to spawn up at the bottom side of the map and had nobody down there to combat with the fact that they were going to push over towards that B site, not what you want to see. But at the end of the day, they close it out. They get the 3-1 victory. They improve to 2-0 and a 6-0 map count inside of the East Group D division. And surely that has to secure the #1 spot inside of this. Maybe you might be able to have GVSU come in and fight them for it a little bit here and there, but it'll have to be a pretty massive effort for GVSU to be able to take #1 spot, and that's even if they were able to take down Shenandoah earlier on.
Well, just it's basically like taking every point that we made for Utica and doubling it when you're looking at GVSU versus this FSU team. But so you should be right. FSU Esports looking to solidify themselves as top of their division inside the East Group D as they take down Utica Pioneers 3-0 in a sweet form, Jesse. They look good. You know, yes, a few blunders here and there, but you can expect with a leader like Exile, they're going to go back to the VOD, scrub through it, and clean up those mistakes because, you know, that 3-0 sweep, they may have got a little ahead of themselves with that 2-0 up, so, you know, I can't expect them to just continue making those mistakes moving on forward.
I think one thing that you pointed out earlier on was inside of the hard point especially, FSU did a great job of not ever stepping their foot off the gas pedal. Inside of the search and destroy, I think that they did very heavily so. I think they were kind of just trying to cruise their way to the end, and it did not work out well into their favor. They ended up closing it out inside of that round 11. They kind of clutched up and everybody played very well. But if they get first blooded over on that A site in round 11, there's a very good chance Utica could close that round out because the only player that was over there was the player that went absolutely massive for them. Utica then inside of the control. I mean, FSU was again up 2-0. Felt like they kind of took the gas off the pedal just a little bit inside of that. And Utica did a good job of trying to fight that one back. They just weren't able to get it done. So I think if Florida State wants to make a deep run inside of the playoffs, I think that it just needs to be full throttle all the way through the bracket play.
You just got to make sure you're disciplined. It's one thing that I was impressed about in FSU in the previous times on stream is that they look very disciplined going into playoffs. Here against Utica, it seems that they let off a little bit on that, had some fun, fooled around, and they got punished for it. But it should be a wake-up call moving on forward for this team as we are looking at them, Jesse, to patch things up. But that's going to be all for our first match of the day, folks. FSU Esports, a 3-0 over the Utica Pioneers. And coming up next, we are heading to the west side, Jesse, where we're going to be looking at Oklahoma State versus Iowa State over inside of West Group A. So, folks, we're going to head to another break, and when we come back, the last match of the Bravo stream. We'll see you soon.